Obviously, last week we had crazy moves. Markets basically are crashing. They're continuing here Monday. I was going to post a video late on Sunday, but I was a bit too late. I was trying to make the next part on Monday and edit it together. I'm just starting a new one. I'm going to try and make it quite quick, actually, because it's clearly a market crash, and we can just get straight to the miners pretty much to see the levels, because that's really what counts. Just before we start, I mean, last week I wasn't sure what was starting on Thursday. Was it? Yeah, it was the day after the FOMC, but I think that was just a coincidence. I think it is the Japanese unwind, right? The carry trade, the reverse of the carry trade. So it looks like they're gonna have to sell all their US positions, get back into the Japanese yen. That's pushing the dollar down. So by the way, the Nikkei is down again 6%. I think the Nasdaq, I know we don't care about the Nasdaq, but it could go down an entire level, like 6%. I'm looking at 420 here. Again, Nasdaq doesn't really matter too much to us. Bitcoin, by the way, this morning down again, bam. And looks like 50,000 might be in the cards. It pretty much touched it already. 52,000 is the same thing almost. Let's look at the dollar and the yen in particular versus the dollar. So DXY, I was going to say this late on Sunday, but I thought 102 is 102.5 or even 102 hit the ascending here, because basically the yen is being massively bought. Let's just look at US dollar, Japanese yen. This is what happened, right? You got this sort of Thursday, Friday, even you could even say late Wednesday. Look at that. Because the dollar was up initially on Friday, remember, and then it ends up down. And you think the dollar should be up in times of fear, right? There's usually like three or four assets. It's like the dollar goes up, bonds go up, volatility goes up, gold can go up. Um, but here it was a bit of a mix, because our gold was up initially. We'll get to that, but then it ended up down, and that's just because people sell everything, even the best things, to raise liquidity, and that's market crash style. Last time we had something like that was COVID, and I remember during COVID, there was a day, I swear, it was like GDX was down 30% on one day, GDXJ or something. I saw something spectacular. No need to be frightened about that. I don't think that's going to happen, because I don't think it's the same thing. So let's just look at the levels. US dollar, Japanese yen. I think it's still trading, of course, down to 140. Why not? If it's going to be this crazy, if you're going to go straight through the ascending, this is kind of a long-term ascending. It just went through it like knife and butter. Might as well go to 140. It's a nice round number, and it's clearly horizontal next level. And, it's a bit of a vacuum between where we are now and there. So it could further go lower, which means the XY should go to 102, or even a bit lower, hit its own ascending 102 instead of 102.5. So DXY, I see actually going down a little bit more because of this specifically. I'm not going to look at the other currencies. Let's look at bonds. Bonds are just going. I thought they would hold this level, but down they go. You know what? It doesn't really matter levels, I would say. The 10-year is the most important one. Let's stretch this out if it keeps going down, because if the DXY keeps going down, then bonds should keep going down because they're being bought. Because I think this week will be crazy. We've got circuit breakers in Japan this morning. We haven't had that again since COVID, and we didn't have that last week either. So yeah, down a little bit more, right? Look at the 30-year, go all the way down here, 3.9-ish, just above 3.9, 10-year. Let's go up to here, 3.6, 2-year. Yes, of course, 3.60, 3.65, So and then there'll be a bit of a bounce, because I don't care if there's a market crash, you still have to have some sort of a technical bounce here and there. Nothing goes up or down in a straight line. But this is mint stuff. This is market crash stuff. Let's get to gold and silver. And by the way, uranium, I never talk about uranium, but I mean, it's got nothing to do with really. I think there's some chemical production stuff, but this is unwarranted stuff. But I've always wanted to be in uranium. I thought the train left the station, and it's funny how things come back. Okay, gold up. That already suggests a lot. I mean, the trading range for me, gold at 2350 all the way to 2480. Look at this, just sideways up. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Yes, I know it's annoying that the miners are getting destroyed, but I don't want to say a blessing in disguise, but yeah, if you sold a lot and I didn't sell enough, I'm not one of those people who sold enough. Really, I kept on talking about I'm trimming, but it was always some small 3-5%, thinking it would keep going up. At least I sold something, but I'll get to that. I'll get to the levels. But look, gold looks really good. That's obviously going to break out. Imagine when the market bounces, gold will bounce with it. it'll go higher also for the same reason the markets will bounce if there's a rate cut. Obviously now rate cut September is in the cards. This is system breaking. You know, when I was covering the US dollar, Japanese yen before, I did cover it a few times, like 2, 3 weeks ago. I said when we took out 160, I remember saying this is system breaking stuff. And I'm no expert in Japanese yen. You know, there are people who are way better than me on all this carry trade stuff, but I got that right. The system breaking because it just lasted 4 or 5 days and then down it went. But even I didn't know why we were really going down until it was maybe a bit too late. But it is what it is. The market's going down. I just follow the markets. Like the miners were going down with the markets. I could tell that it was a market crash because the miners didn't go down with the markets lockstep as it did Thursday, Friday, for some time. So I could tell something new was happening. But gold, look at this, you know, 2480 after we take that out. I don't even think this, yeah, we'll hit 2500. And then what is this resistance? Maybe for a couple of minutes, I feel like gold will just start to squeeze. And I'm sorry, if gold squeezes because of a market crash, it's very hard to see the miners crashing with the markets, even though they're doing that Thursday, Friday. So gold looks really good, right? That's the range, 2350, 2480. So far looks wonderful. Let's look at silver. And silver usually ends up acting like a bit of an industrial metal, you know, like copper, and just goes down the markets. But I have to admit, you know, Thursday, Friday, Thursday was, you know, okay, it's a red day. Friday was quite good. Friday for me, it just did the same as gold. It was just sideways, whilst everything else getting absolutely destroyed. Silver was just unchanged, up, down a little bit, unchanged. Today, we're green, also a little bit like gold. Whilst, by the way, the Nikkei is down 6.5%, and I'm sure the markets will open down. So, yes, it's true, the dollar's down, but we're not really trading with the dollar here. I feel like we're just trading with general market sentiment. And silver is following a little bit with gold, and that's very nice. That should mean, right? By the way, silver's range, and it'll take out these ranges, but for now, 2750 for me anyway, 2750, 2950. If gold starts to take out 2500 and run, silver should be taking out 2950. I know we've been all the way to 32, but it should start making its way towards this extending. And that will really help miners, right? I don't, if silver goes down and takes out 2750, the next level is 26. I don't see that happening. If it's a market crash, things just go crazy. It could happen, of course, and we're just retesting a massive breakout zone. So it would be a bit annoying, all that. It's not even technical damage, just all that effort, not for nothing, but you know, we're gonna have to make it back, and it will. But I kind of have the suspicion we're going to go up with gold at 2500 and silver. Whilst everything crashes, that would be beautiful. What a place to hide. Let's look at the miners. Okay, the miners you can see not as strong. Obviously, we haven't opened yet. But as long as the miners don't crash with the markets or don't crash as much, it would be quite decent. The thing about the miners, we've had quite a few little individual stocks reporting earnings, and they weren't good. And that's really hurt the technical charts of individual miners. Some of them are destroyed. First Majestic, my God. EXK, I'll get to them all. But you know, otherwise, I think we could be outperforming the markets here. If we can hold these levels, for me, GDXJ 4350, you know, we are just trading above it. Let's try and hold that. Today, who knows, with the market crash, we could have a little move down, but with the metals doing okay, and if gold breaks out 2500, maybe that will keep us above these certain key levels. This ascending is lost just about, but it's too close for it to really count. It's really this horizontal for me. So 4350, let's hold it. If we don't, down we go to 41. If we start to move up, who knows? That's definitely possible. 46. After 46, I got 47. And after that, the old high 49. 46, 47, 49, quite simple. So GDXJ is a little hurt, but still okay, right? It's not like everything else. Well, some other asset classes are getting destroyed. GDX is probably the strongest, and I'm very happy about that because I've really focused on more senior miners than the juniors over the last 1 or 2 years. I've just had enough of the juniors, and some of the juniors, my God, they're all the way back down to new all-time lows. I'm so happy I'm not in those. I used to have like half my mining holdings in juniors, like really small micro juniors, thinking, oh my God, they're going to go up so much. When gold, you know, and gold's going to take out 2500 and then making new lows. And I'm so happy. But yeah, GDX still within its ascending. the levels for now, and again, they're very tight levels given what's happened. We've got 30, yeah, let's say 36, right? 36, the horizontal and the ascending, and on the upside, 38. If we lose 36, down we go probably to 34.50, little mini breakout zone. I don't see this happening, but 33 otherwise. So it's 33, 34.50, 36 for now, still holding, and then 38. And if we take out 38, 39.40. Remember, we had some miners on Friday, some seniors like Newmont, Agnico, they were making 52 week highs. So, and then they just had to go down with the markets a little bit, but that's very positive. And that's why 39.50 breakout is definitely not unrealistic. Silj, though, the silver miners, they're the ones that got really destroyed. And I think that's also because of individual poor earnings, poor news from some individual silver stocks. But actually, let's see if this holds. Maybe. Yeah. So for now, actually, this is a bit of a level, but should we keep going down, next level is 11. And after that, this huge breakout zone of 10.50, that will hold. If we do go down there, I'm sorry, that's a buy, because at one point the market will the dust will settle and silver will quickly be following gold to new all-time high, at least to 32.50, I reckon, especially if they cut rates and the market goes up, silver will, and the silver miners will really bounce. So on the upside, yeah, okay, Friday's high would be, first of all, we flushed this little level. So let's see if we can take that out, 11.70, that'll be done. You know what, on any bounce, that'll be so easy that doesn't count. How much a percentage? 2%. That's nothing for still. I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to say Friday's high is actually your first level, not even 12.20, and then, yeah, this level up here, just lower it a little bit, 12.70, and then back up here. All right, Silj is a bit special. We've got to really watch silver and the GDX. I think GDX counts a lot now. The seniors are going to act as big brother to a lot of them. And all right, let's look at the actual portfolio. So, like I said, Newmont made new 52-week highs. I'm sure it's 52-week highs, yeah. Took out 50 and then had to come down, filled a bit of a gap. And here we are, just a big candle, sort of basically a sideways day, even though it looks like a big red candle down 2%. It wasn't really a down 2% day to me. It's just, it had to do that. So resistance is still 50. Let's close above that. Then it's next stop all the way up here, 52, 53, let's say 52.8, and then 54, 55. Let's just see if we can take out 50, and then we can start celebrating and move to 52.8. But that is actually very possible, especially if there's a bounce. I think today will be a bit of carnage. Tuesday, less carnage. Wednesday, bounce, and you could have towards the end of the week a bit of a move up. And by then, Newmont could be testing these levels up here. On the way down, if we start to close below Friday's low, then you know what? Here, just under or at 45, because it's a level. It's the resistance, breakout, retest. It's definitely level. And it's the ascending, this massive ascending. By the time it comes down, if it comes down, after 2-3 days. So that's all I'm going to say for Newmont. I don't see it really losing those levels. Who knows? If it will, then I'll make a video midweek. But for me, it's 45. Obviously, Friday's low up here, 47.5, and then 50, and then above 50. Barrick Gold. Yeah, a bit more disappointing than Newmont as usual. Maybe not on Friday's move, but just generally. But for me, Friday's low, 17.5. If we lose that, 16.5-ish, I see. Can't really see it going down there, but that should be support, between 16 and 16.5. You can see how much buying there was there. But let's see if we can hold 17.5 on Friday. Otherwise, on the upside, honestly, it's just below 19. All these little tails, this little horizontal level here, but more important, this long-term descending. So Barrick really needs to close above 19, and then you need to get there on a daily close, and then obviously you'll hit that dun. Then we go up to 20, and 20 will be a level. Otherwise, let's make sure we don't go down to 16.5. But if we do, I think I may even add, actually, because Barrick is a hell of a buy where it is now, although I got enough. All right, Agnico Eagle, another one that made a new all-time high there on Friday and then came down, only 1.5%, not even. And then tested an old level. Is that an old level? Why have I got that line? An old level. Or whatever. I'll leave. Nah. It's confusing. So Friday's low, let's hold that. If we don't, down we go here, 72-ish. The low of this sort of range. And if we lose that, then 70, big number, also a bit of a breakout zone. Generally speaking, it was a bit of a breakout zone here. So I don't know where it is between 71 and 70. I don't actually see it going that low, but I'm going to say 70 just because of the big number. Maybe 71 actually. It's quite hard to tell. But yeah, let's see if 72.5 holds, even if we lose Friday's low. Otherwise, 70 is good. But Agnico Eagle all the way up here. Trust me, you're going to see some miners that are all the way down here. So whether it's here or there, it's the same thing. It's doing really well, holding up very well. A bit like Newmont. So very good. Now, if we take out 78, definitely possible. We actually did that pretty much on Friday. Next level is all the way up here, 84. You can see straight away how many times we touched that and didn't go above. That's quite a move though. And with what's going on, that'd be amazing. That's not going to happen this week. I really don't see that happening, but 78 is resistance. Let's see if we close above that. It's going to go at least to 80. Agnico is very good. Pan America. So Pan America came down 5%. Friday was not great. And also Thursday was a bit of a drop, but not as much as Friday. Again, silver, some of the silver stocks really got destroyed. Not destroyed. I think some other asset classes got destroyed more, but again, it would be nice to see it go back up a little bit because silver didn't get as destroyed as the miners. So I don't think there was news on Pan America. I'm not sure. Okay, we've got this new ascending here that should hold. We can see a bit of level. It touched on Friday, 20.5 before the gap fill. So this is a level, Friday's low, not just because it was Friday's low. If we close this gap, then 20 should be a level just because it's a big number and it's a gap fill. I'd expect something like gap fill and then come back up here and close above 20.5. And then again, you're reiterating that this is a level, this is ascending move. So 20.5 could act as a little bounce zone. That could be very healthy for a reversal Pan America. If we go lower, then I got 19.5-ish. You can see how many times we went there and had some buying. Also, there was a bit of resistance here. And if we keep going below, I don't see that because Pan America is a bit of a senior, so I shouldn't go this far down, 18. And I don't think there's any point in talking below 18, at least now. Now, on the way up, because we could easily have a bounce day in silver if gold and silver start to move up and the miners decide to, hey, follow the miners. Follow the metal. If we go up, then 22.5-ish. I got not just because it's Friday's high, but also this descending. If we take that out, then yeah, 23. Let's close above 23, and next stop is the old highs. So it could be very quickly testing 24 again. We just need to basically close above 23. But I do see a bit of resistance just here, this descending. So Pan America is okay. It's okay, just a bit of a drop down Friday, but it's a very good stock. So if it keeps going down, no problem putting money there. I'm going to still favor some of these seniors over juniors, especially on the way down. I was already favoring them on the way up, but on the way down even more. SSRM, this one had bad news on Thursday. Down it went. There were a few. There was like, and I bought them actually. SSRM, EXK, and First Majestic. I think I bought on Thursday and Friday. Maybe I didn't add to no, I didn't add to SSRM because it didn't go down as much on Friday. Yeah, so Thursday down it went, filled a bit of a gap, bounced 4.8. Then Friday it was not that bad a day actually. It was only down 2%. I thought that was okay for SSRM. No particular level, 4.7. No, this is just it's sort of curling. I feel like it's starting to curl a little bit. So it could, I don't know what's going to happen today because it's like 6 in the morning here in Europe and stuff can go wild between now and the open or during the open. So who knows? The miners could just flush down with an absolute market crash. But otherwise, if the metals just hold up quite well as they're doing so far very early in the morning and the miners follow the metals, we could just have a bit of a sideways day in the SSRM and a move back up. Remember, on Wednesday, it had just made a new high. But okay, it had bad news. For me, support is roughly where it is. I don't know, go on Friday's low. Otherwise, it keeps going down 4.4. If we start to move back up, I'm sorry, but this is going to be very difficult resistance, 5.5. I will be trimming there also, just because it was bad news. Very difficult to imagine a move back up where you go above and close above the high of day of a bad news day. So 5.5 should be pretty strong resistance. And if you get above that, of course, there's Wednesday's high. That's 5.7. I don't see that being taken out. But actually, if you close above Thursday's high, maybe you will go all the way this high. But 5.5 is resistance, and I don't even think there's any point in talking about anything higher than that. So I'm trimming up here and trimming quite a bit, by the way. Now on the move up here, generally speaking, all these miners, if there's a nice move in the miners, I'm going to be trimming like at least 10% just because of the market crash nature. Even though maybe they make new highs, with gold making new highs, and long term it shouldn't change the thesis. Miners will be making more money. It's just market crash. In the end, the most important thing is having liquidity, because it's not just miners, other stocks are getting absolutely decimated and they're probably buyers. So it's good to have more cash on hand. So yeah, I'll be looking at 5.5. If we go down, honestly, 4.4, I might buy a little bit more. 4.4, very, very small stuff, but it had bad news, plus the market's going down. I'm not eager to buy SSRM. I've got enough in it actually still. Wheaton is holding up quite well, as you'd expect. So already it's at a level. This 58 zone is the old all-time high, I believe. Yes, it is. So basically, we've just gone to 58, made new highs, and retested. We finally retesting. So this is a level. Yes, it closed just below 58, and it's, it should go down a bit more actually now. But for me, it's the same thing, 58. So 58 is a level. Then if you keep going down, it might. 56, just this ascending move. 56. If it keeps going down, it wants to test the horizontal 55. So 55, 56, 58. That will hold. Wheaton is quite a strong defensive stock. If we start to move back up, then honestly, the high of last week, 60, big round number. Let's close above that. Next up, new all-time high, 63. So those are the only two levels to watch on the way up, 60 and then the absolute highs. I'm not going to bother with this little stop-off point. So Wheaton's good. Let's do Franco-Nevada. I'm going to ignore this high that was put in here. Of course, if we take out 130, then that'll be the next stop, but that'll be a very small pit stop, I think. So 130 is resistance on the way up. And that's all there is to the resistance. It's doing okay still, despite decent drop there, 1.5% on Friday. On the way down, if we take out Friday's high, but it's quite close to its low of day. So I'm just going to say 122.5, the low that was put in during this period. If we lose that, 114. I want to keep it very simple with Franco-Nevada. I don't see any point in trying to put in extra little levels. Just keep it simple, especially if it's a crazy week. Don't over complicate, little 1.5% moves. So 130, 122.5, and then 114, which should definitely hold if we go down there. Metalla, horrible, horrible. Never really took out this descending. It's all about this descending. By the way, the resistance is the descending and nothing else. If we start to move up for whatever surprise reason, and that would surprise me, Metalla's been weak for ages. It's going to be, it depends how long it takes, but it's going to be this resistance, right? So wherever you are, imagine it immediately starts to bounce. Well, 320 is your resistance. If it takes towards the end of the week, then maybe 310, 315, but that's your resistance. Support 270, which is where it is, and then 240. And by the way, if we start to have some market crash in the miners and little ones like Metalla start to go down, which could happen, then you got to go all the way down to $2. And you have to zoom out the chart. And it's the first stock where I have to zoom out, which is never a good sign, at least on the way down. And $2, not just a big number, but you can see it was support and even resistance back in the almost a decade ago. So not good Metalla, but very close to breaking out of this descending at the same time. And then once this takes this out, up we go to 350, and then we squeeze to 4, and then you can zoom out for a good reason. But Metalla, not great. Talking about not great, silver stocks, First Majestic, horrible, right? I mean, lower highs, lower lows. It was already, it squeezed up brilliantly. This is what I wanted out of it. Then it had bad news. Then it never, whilst others were making new highs, this one didn't, and then new lows. And then bam, here we go. There's no point in doing that. You can see that, but The point is, it took out even 520, right, which is the level I used to have. I took that off and I just readjusted it to, so I mean, I used to have this, but it went straight through that. So now the new level is 480, 490. I bought on Thursday and Friday. When I bought on Thursday? Thursday I bought 502 or something, I think. No, Friday I bought 502. Thursday I also bought, I think 520 something I bought. You know what? It was 530 something actually. It was like 531, 532 on Thursday. And then it was 502 on Friday. Not the best. But small ads, and I'm adding because I want to sell on the way up. I don't like First Majestic anymore. A bit late for that, but I mean, I much prefer a Heckler, right? Which I've been adding to actually. So that's my replacement. I'm buying on the way down and selling on the way up. So I'm buying First Majestic and Heckler. I bought on the way down. I bought quite a few. I didn't buy any of the stocks except SSRM that I went through there. At Pan America, I bought a little bit. I forgot to mention that. Pan America, I forgot where I bought, but small ads. You have to buy Pan America on a 5% drop. So on Friday, I bought Pan America. First Majestic, I just told you where I bought 532, 502, average like 5, whatever it would be, 17 or something. So now it's about selling on the way up. Resistance is old support, and it's not 520 because it didn't really hold. If we start to move up and take out Friday's high of day of 540, that'll actually be your first resistance. Then it's about hitting the old 570, right? That was the support here. So 570, I'll be selling into. If it starts to go higher and fill the gap, that would be very impressive, but I'm not impressed long-term by First Majestics. I'll be selling this up here to like 610, 609 probably. If it goes even higher than 625, these little levels that look relevant, this is what I'll be selling into. 570, 609, and let's say 25. Sell, and maybe even before then. And I want to have like half the position that I've currently got left by then. I don't think First Majestic will be moving up because of First Majestic. I think it'll be because of the general market. But you know, it's so much resistance. Even if we take this out, and this we're talking weeks away now. Next up is this 680, then 7. It's just so much resistance. So machine gunning my way out. Do I want to have zero position in First Majestic? I don't know. It's still got that silver squeeze element to it, but at least half the position I've currently got. Maybe I'll sell the whole thing. Honestly, I prefer just have Heckler, CDE. Actually, I really need to consider what silver stocks to hold now because I hold the ones I currently hold. But EXK was also a bit disappointing. Let's move. Fortuna also has been disappointing. You know, bad news. Fortuna. Let's look at Fortuna. You know what? Let's not. First Majestic. I forgot to talk about support. If we lose 490, then down we go to 450, and or even 420. Crazy stuff. Old lows. That's a buy. I don't care how bad the stock is or what the news has been. That's just a buy on general principle. But yeah, something to consider. Keep it simple with the levels. I really need to consider what stocks to maybe eliminate though. Fortuna, you know, this is what I mean by bad news. This was a while ago. Then just traded this range, this little 480 to 540, which I did trim into, which was nice. And then down we went. I don't know if I bought Fortuna. If I did, it would have been on this 440. I did do a bit of buying there on Friday. So, but anyway, 440 is the level. You can see that, at least that's what I think. So if we move back up, resistance 480, 486, 485, I think. If we go higher than that, 540. So those are the two levels I'm watching for Fortuna. Sell into that. Definitely sell into that. Can you imagine it just going all the way up here? It's never going to happen. So strong resistance, sell that. You can buy it back lower. If we lose 440, then we've got this little zone here. Little zone is quite important, actually. Look at that resistance just above 4. So I think just above 4 will be support. And it seems a bit strange talking about levels even lower than that, but we've seen First Majestic. So Fortuna, that's what I see. This is also stock that I'll be selling into on the way up. So Fortuna and First Majestic are getting sold into. Next one is going to be Heckler. Sorry, CDE normally. CD's done well. I know Friday went down. I did trim there on Thursday, so that was good. But Friday down it went the next level. That's actually exactly what I thought would happen. That's exactly what I thought would happen. That's exactly why I sold on Thursday, just above 6, I think I even mentioned it, 602, 603 or something. Sold that, down it went, and bought back. I already bought back. I just love CDE, but I shouldn't be buying back. It's just way too high for a little aggressive silver stock. It could go lower. It's not going to go all the way down there, though, is it? Maybe something like this is more realistic if it were, yeah, and it's a big round number, $5. You know, that's a bit of a move. Yeah, 10% almost. I probably would buy at 5, but I need to calm down about the buying of these aggressive ones. They're still all the way up here. You know, where's First Majestic all the way down here? I need to remember that. But CDE has really pleased me. That'll be one of the silver stocks I continue to keep. So, okay, so $5, I don't see us going below 5 all the way to 4. Wow. Resistance is going to be all support. So 6, will I be selling into that? Yeah, I'll sell what I bought here. I forgot what price, but whatever I bought here in the 550s, I'll be selling at 6. And if we go back up, then I'll be selling more, trimming more. So CD is still quite good despite this level drop on Friday. Let's look at Heckler. This one I did buy. I thought this might hold, it didn't. So levels where it is now, this ascending, it's a bit like SILJ actually. It's the same kind of type of ascending line as SILJ. So where it is now, look, we even filled the gap perfectly, 490. I forgot what I bought Heckler. Pretty close to its lows, but I don't know where. So this ascending will hold. If we lose, then this actual low here, so 480, which is pretty much the same as where we are. If that goes, then this level 465-ish, then 450. There's quite a lot of little levels, as you can see. It's like here, 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 here. And I do not see us going all the way down to like 4. That's possible, but very unlikely. On the way up, it's very hard to tell. We've got that Friday's high at 540. After that, 580. That looks like a bit of a level here. You can see, you know, a bit of resistance. And then after that, it's going to be straight through 6 and the old highs. So I'm not looking to sell Heckler, but if it doesn't move up crazy for some reason, I probably would up here. But that's if the market doesn't move with it. So that's Heckler EXK. Horrible. Another one that's done very well that I've trimmed into, not enough, that I will sell into on the bounce because, you know, if I look at First Majestic, if I look at Fortuna, if I look at EXK, they're all disappointing recently. You know, Heckler's okay, CD's okay, even Mag Silver I used to hate is okay, but those other three, Fortuna, First Majestic in particular, and EXK, just I need to really lighten those up, and I'm considering just having about half the position I used to have in these silver stocks, these medium silver stocks that I cover here, and just keeping a little bit more, just holding what I've got in the seniors, because the seniors never disappoint to the degree that these medium, or I don't have any juniors, but definitely the juniors, because you know, you got -7%, even Heckler 7%. What did Heckler do on Friday? It's just going down because of its little aggressive nature. It's not a senior stock, you know, even Pan America, to be fair. But, you know, Agnico Eagle, Newmont, even Barrick, they just don't have those moves. So you can kind of count on them on market crashes to not have this type of move. Anyway, EXK levels. Well, Friday's low of day is a level. If we go lower than that, and I got this $3 range because that was breakout, right? That was resistance here, and then bam, we broke out and continued our march up. But now here comes the hangover. So 330, 327, low of day Friday, and then 3. Keep it simple. If it keeps going down, 280 maybe. I'm going to keep it at 3 because I think it's already had a monumental move down. So 3 should be a nice bounce. But for now, we're not there. On the way up, and this counts for me because I will be selling into the move up. It's had bad news, very bad news, 20% drop, and then market crash to come with it. You know, that's a big drop, but it could bounce nicely, but resistance will be strong. So Friday's high, then the ascending that definitely counted. This is not some imaginary line. It counted for a long time, hit several times. So on the way up should also be. So actually, I'm going to say Friday's high, I'll sell into. I was buying EXK on Friday just because of how crazy it's been. And I bought on Thursday, actually, on the gap fill. So on the way up, Friday's high of day. then the ascending will be resistance. And if for some magical reason it goes all the way up to 420, I'll sell even more. I'll sell a lot. Again, this one I want to have half the level, half the value that I've currently got, because it's just had bad news, and we know how weak they are after they've had bad news. So EXK, Mag Silver, ascending is holding. Look, it also made a new high on Friday, and then down it went 3.5%. So I think this one just went down on the markets. I think it's not something to be totally worried about. It's not individual to it. It's not specific to its name. No bad news. So for now, the ascending holds. If we go down more, I think like many of the others, it could do a little bit of a gap fill. But like some of them, they bounce sometimes just before going to the gap. So let's just have this little parallel line. Bam, bam. Otherwise, 1150. On the way up, old resistance, and I will be selling into that. Again, I sold into it already. I had a 13.99 sell, and I'm just sell again 13.99. I just want to trim, like I said, all the miners. If there is a level, I'm trimming like 10%. And on these moves up for these weak ones, it'll be more than 10%. I want to just lighten the load on these silver stocks. I have enough in them. Even if I sell half, I still kind of have enough, especially for a market crash. And these big boys are enough to hold defensively on the way down. All right, next one. Now we're leaving the silver space. I'm going to what I call the sort of medium miscellaneous miners that I hold. RS mining, down that went. $4 holds. If $4 doesn't hold, I'm not going to talk about 390 gap fill. It's too close. I'm going to keep it simple. 370. It's a big zone. It was all resistance. It's already been tested as support some time ago. So if we lose 370. If we lose 370, it is what it is. Then it'll come down. Then it'll be 350. Otherwise, the ascending. It will not go to the ascending. Even 350 would be hard to imagine. On the way up, well, and this one I did trim before the drop, thankfully. 450, I'll be trimming there. And then the old high 465-ish, because 480 is a big level. So might as well sell just a few cents before. So this one, another one I'll be selling like 10% at least, because this one's very light now. I think it's my lightest holding. I was selling quite a lot up here because I think it did its job, and I'm quite happy I did that. Next one, I am gold. So this one's not come down as much as I thought. It's one of the weak miners because it had bad news, which hasn't come down as much as the others. You know, it's not like Fortune or First Majestic. So, and I think it was dilution up here too. So I'd sold I am gold already because it hadn't gone down as much as the others, and I was expecting it to. It did come down on Friday, so at least and I'd sold on Thursday, so that was nice. But it's holding level. So where is it? It's around 385. That's a level. If we come down again, 350, that's a level. If we go down again, there's this gap fill at 340, but yeah, 320. I don't see that happening. I was buying in the low threes by average 280s and 305 or something. I'm in around $3 average, but 350 and then 320 is all you need to consider on the way down, but it's holding right now 385, which is a level. On the way up, Friday's high of day, the week's high of day, let's call it 420. That's a level. I think that'll be quite hard to close above. And then you got this pre-gap. Well, it was venturing there, but it didn't close the gap. But yeah, 430 should be a level. Lots of little levels for IM Gold, quite clear though for me, all horizontals. Another one I'll be selling into if it goes back up. I'll sell all of them on the way up, to be honest. B2 Gold, this is the one where I didn't want to sell because I thought it would just not go down too much and probably reverse. Once the reversal's in, it's probably going to find itself all the way back up to 320 and making new highs quite quickly. But it did have a bit of a drop on Friday. Thursday was okay, but Friday did come down to 285, this old low, down 3.5%. I mean, is this descending retest a level? It should be, because it's quite an important descending and we haven't really retested. So imagine we go down straight away, you know, wherever that is, 275, that could be a level. Just a retest here. And then should we go lower, then let's just move that a little bit more, 265-ish, you know, this ascending, which kind of has been ruined by this, but has been a bit ruined, but not. I just can't imagine BT Gold going too much lower, even if it's a market drop. If it does go down, everything pukes because of some crazy stuff, then 250, which I don't see happening. On the way up, we got this 305 level. You can see a few attempts that failed to close above it. So 305 and then the old high 320. And after that, it's clear skies for the next real breakout of this descending. Equinox, finally. Yeah, this one I bought a little bit just because it's at a level. Look at this ascending support. So 515, 520 is a level. I think I bought just below 520, if I'm not mistaken. Very small stuff though, because I bought here already and it could go down more. So the support is where we are. Let's say 515 to $5 basically is support. If you close below $5, then we are considering the next level at 565-ish. I don't see that happening, but it's possible. And I'm not even going to talk about $4 below that, but that's your obvious next level. So those levels, this sort of 5 to 520, it's always been 5 to 520 for Equinox. And then, yeah, 464. On the way up, it's going to be the week's highs, which is pretty much 560. If you can close above that, for whatever reason, then it's supposed to be 620, but maybe $6 will be a bit of the level. I can't do all the miners. It's very late now. SBSW, not even a miner, but look at that. Down it goes. Haven't traded this in months. I want to break out of this box, up or down. It looks like down, of course, is the more likely option. But you know what? 380. I'm looking for a close below 380 before I'm satisfied it's going to go lower, because this one has a way of stopping people out of their stops and then triggering stop losses and reversing back up. But obviously we've got a market crash, so this one might be real. So yeah, 380 to $4 is the level to watch for the drop. And of course, on the way up, we don't have a scenario for the way up for now. All right, that will do. Obviously, there are loads of other stocks, but again, market crash is continuing so far this morning. Let's see the effect on the miners specifically. Gold and silver are doing their thing. They're holding up quite well. Silver, I'm quite impressed with. Obviously, anything can happen between now and the open in I don't know how many hours, like quite a few hours, 8 hours from now or something. But it's the miners are doing well. No, the metals are doing well. The miners now need to start following the metals, and then we can start to overall outperform the market, and then people might pile into miners a bit more, especially the seniors, and maybe they will then, butterfly effect, help out the mid-tier ones, and downstream it could even help the juniors. I don't care about the juniors. So I hope that was useful. I hope that was quite entertaining, and good luck to all of us. Shelter in place.